This is a presentation illustrating the concept of project management and how it applies in two separate scenarios. The first scenario is problem 8. The purpose of this problem is to calculate the rate of performance for a capital project, to determine the actual and planned durations of each task, and to visually show the progress as made. The start date for this project is set to be January 1st, 2008. The major tasks for this project are as follows: strategic plan phase, project initiation phase, building design, construction phase, and occupancy. Each of these tasks were entered in Microsoft Project with precedence included. It is important to note that two of the subtasks within the project initiation phase, Master Facility Plan and Space Programming, are set to finish with one another. The planned duration of this project is based on pessimistic and optimistic estimates. Therefore, I used a PERT analysis, which includes these estimates to calculate the planned duration for each of these tasks and the total project. This slide shows a PERT entry sheet with pessimistic, expected, and optimistic durations for each activity. After calculating PERT, it was determined that the planned project duration is 862 days. After saving the baseline at January 1st, 2008, I entered the actual durations for various tasks and subtasks using the start and finish times given in the question in a tracking table. This slide shows the process of entering these start and finish times. This next slide shows the actual duration along with the tracking Gantt chart of performance, with years as the middle tier and half years as the bottom tier. The blue line shows the actual activity, and the gray line shows the planned activity. The total actual duration for the project was 784 days. This last chart is a summary depicting the actual duration for each task, its start and finish dates, and the predecessors for each task. In conclusion, since the actual duration was 784 days, which was shorter than our planned duration of 862 days, this means that the tasks were finished faster than planned, and thus the performance in completing the project was efficient. Microsoft Project and specifically PERT analysis are effective and efficient ways of determining the rate of performance by comparing planned and actual duration times. The next scenario is problem 9. The main purpose in this scenario is to determine the rate of performance and budget overrun via rapid analysis. There were 8 total activities: A. Obtaining list of patients. B. Sample patients. C. Print survey tool. D. Mail survey tool. E. Collect early responses. F. Collect late responses. G. Analyze data. And H. Report findings. With the exception of activity C and activity G, all other activities were in the critical pathway. In this scenario, only 3 activities, A, B, and C, were actually completed. This next slide shows the data that was provided by the question. To determine the rate of performance, we needed to divide the time in actual work by the planned work. Since only activities A and B out of A, B, and C were on the critical path, the focus was on these 2. To find actual work, I added up the number of weeks it took for A and B to be completed, which was 6 weeks total. The planned work for A and B was 3 weeks. Thus, the rate of performance was 6 weeks divided by 3 weeks, which is 200%. Before calculating budget overrun, it is important to calculate the planned duration and the estimated project end. The planned duration is the number of weeks for all of the activities in the project minus the number of weeks that are not part of the critical path. In this case, the sum of all activities minus activities C and G, which were not part of the critical path, was 12 weeks. The estimated project end was the project duration times the rate of performance. So 12 weeks multiplied by 200% was 24 weeks. This is 2 times longer than the duration on how long it took for the first 3 activities to be accomplished. In order to solve for budget overrun, we would have to know the actual cost for each activity, but this information is not available. However, based on the fact that the estimated project end is twice the number of weeks of the planned duration, we can forecast that this project will be over budget. Therefore, the take-home lesson is that even without specific numbers for cost and budget, it is still possible to calculate the rate of performance and to forecast budget overrun based on planned duration and estimated project end.